Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brennan again, inside the car, outside the gym, and not on my way to the Olympia, unlike pretty much everyone else you likely follow. So the Olympia weekend is here. Everyone is on their way to Vegas, except for little old me. And maybe I'll do a separate video later talking about why I don't go to these events typically and my feelings on them, but we'll see. No promises there. Today, my goal is to go in and do some heavy singles or doubles on squat. So we're gonna do some squat, which you guys are probably used to now as I'm trying to build up that work capacity. So I'm only really doing compounds for the most part. Going beltless still, so I don't know how heavy is going to be. I have kind of in my mind, I'd like to work up to a double to a 455 beltless, but again, we'll see how I feel. And then do some bench afterwards. I'm not sure the rep ranges just yet. Again, we'll kind of play it by feel. That's kind of what I've been doing. I've been getting questions, you know, are you still working with Silent Mike? I am. I'm just taking a little bit of a detour to kind of ease my own mind, which is very important. So although I really like the training program he's put together, the best thing you can do for any training program is get on one that you enjoy, and right now this is what I want to do. So just a side detour. As part of that too, I've been getting questions about assistance work. You know, are you doing anything else? It seems all you do is squat, bench, and deadlift these days. What about the bicep curls? What about the tricep extensions? What about the lat pull downs? I'm still doing those a little bit, but again, because I'm focusing on building up my work capacity for the compounds, that's where I put most of my energy in right now, and because my Angus is not thoroughly peppered for those things just yet, by the time I get done, I don't have a lot of energy left over for assistance work. Now, I will be adding those in, and I do some assistance work. I don't always show those on film just because I try to condense these, and I say that even though all these times now I've been rambling on in the beginning, taking up a lot of time. A lot of you guys don't like this. You don't like seeing my face. It's like seeing that fat booty doing some squats, but you're gonna have to get used to it. This is like the foreplay before the main course. All right, this is the appetizer, so wet your lips around this, boys. But I do accessory work every now and then. I will always log it in Fitocracy, anything I do. So if you don't see it in a video, you can always check there if you want to know everything I do, because I even log my foam rolling and stuff like that. But I'm rambling, like I said, so let's get to the gym and let's get to lifting. So I need to walk 5 feet and do some warm-ups. We'll talk to you soon. All right, gonna switch things up a little bit on this commentary, and instead of spending the next 10 minutes talking about squats and bench and making a lot of bad sexual references, I'm gonna spend the next 10 minutes talking about the Olympia and still make a lot of bad sexual references. So let me tell you what you're gonna see. I worked up to a heavy single of 480 beltless on squats. I played around a lot with my stance, my grip width, all sorts of things on these warm-ups. So if you see some stuff funky, just know that I'm playing around with some things. Moved on to bench, did 225 for 5 sets of 8 with a pause. That's it. So let's talk a little bit about these events. Now, I mentioned the Olympia, but this can also hold true for the Arnold or Fit Expos or Europas, whatever you want to say. Same reasoning or same thought process in my mind. And I think one of the big reasons why a lot of people go to these events in terms of YouTubers is because it's a great way to build your channel. So you've seen some collaborations on my channel in the past, whether it be with Maddie, with Nick, with Max, with Bobby, with Benoit, with Jarrell. These are all people that I've collabed with lately. A great way to grow your channel because you get to usually collaborate with a channel that has either more subscribers than you or a different audience. So anytime you do this, number one, it's great to meet these people that you've been talking to or videos you watch. But bottom line is because you want to grow your channel and you want to get some subscribers, and that's usually one of the outcomes of it. These videos are typically more popular because you see multiple YouTubers and you get subscribers out of it for yourself. So it's a win-win everywhere. Now, that being the case, for a lot of people on YouTube, I know it's hard to travel because we're all spread out throughout the country and in some cases throughout the world, so it's not easy to plan a trip to go see one person. Instead, it's much easier to go to one of these big events where everyone is going to be there. You can get many collaborations in. Those videos are also very popular, so again, great way to grow your channel in that sense. Now, while growing your channel is great, believe it or not, it's not really something that I overly dwell on. Meaning that, yes, I would love for my channel to grow faster, but if it doesn't, I'm okay with that. Because I really take a look at the grand scheme of things, and if I take a step back, this channel actually just had its 2-year anniversary, so we've only been making videos for 2 years, and within that 2 years, we've amassed just about 100,000 subscribers, which I think is fantastic, and my growth has always been very consistent, and I think it'll continue to do so in the fact where I don't need to necessarily go to these events to try to force my channel to grow. And I think a big part of this too is how I look at it from an income standpoint. So I've done a couple of videos on how much money I make on YouTube. You guys can see this already, and I'm going to do an updated video after we've passed 100,000 subscribers, and I've let it kind of go for a month or so just to give you another look at it. But for me personally, while I do make money on this channel, I don't look at it as a primary source of income, and I don't rely on that income. And I think that's a little bit different than some people because a lot of people that are in college or younger, maybe they look at this as a full-time supplement to their normal career, or a big portion of their income so they can pay their rent or make a higher car payment and get a nicer car, whereas other people actually rely on YouTube as a full-time part of their job in line with training services, diet services, apparel services, which is cool. If you can do that and you can make a comfortable living, all the more power to you. I'm very happy for you. However, for me, even at 100,000 subscribers, the amount that I make on my channel is such a very small percentage when compared to what I actually make at my full-time career that there's really no competition between the two. So I'm not really driven to increase my YouTube channel in terms of, hey, I really need to step things up. I really need to make this my primary job so I can retire, because it's not a realistic expectation for me to have. And I actually like my job. Yeah, I work in an office and I do certain things, and I went to school and I went to college and I've worked in my field for 10 plus years, but I'd like to think I'm pretty good at my job. And my job does me pretty well in terms of the fact that I can get a lot of the things that I want to get. I'm never really scratched for money. I'm not worrying about health insurance, things of that nature. Whereas with YouTube, you might have to worry about some of those things where it's really a month-to-month thing. You can make a lot of money one month and the next month, depending on how you do or how views are, or maybe what you say in a video and what supplements you come out with, or people don't want to buy them anymore. It's really kind of a crapshoot, and I'm not willing to do that. So again, that's really why I'm not overly concerned with my channel growth. If it grows, great. If it doesn't, no big deal either way. So in addition to the whole collaboration thing, growing your channel, a big reason why people go is because their flights are paid for. They get put up in a hotel, they get to work booths, whatever it may be. It's not really an option for me. You guys probably understand from watching my channel that I don't really hold back in some of my reviews. So I've done a lot of reviews on supplements and how most of them are scams, how you shouldn't buy them. A lot of them are proprietary blends, fillers, research says they don't work. That being the case, I'm not really on the good side of many supplement companies, and these supplement companies are the ones who usually pay for your trips out there. So in order for me to have them do that for me, in most cases what I'd have to do is actually kind of come back on my word and start pimping or showing products or talking about products or promoting products, offering you links in the description for discount codes in my videos on stuff that I don't really believe in. And I don't want it to come to that just for a free trip to be put up in a hotel. I think my integrity is worth more than that. And I say that, and I'm kind of pausing and laughing because you guys probably know instead of what I do is some of these crappy advertisements. So you guys saw the Neighbors one in that last video. You've seen many ones for the Sony Action Cam, Simple Mobile, things of that nature. Things I do through my partnership program as a way for me to make money for my channel without actually having you have to buy something. So some might definitely argue that my integrity has been lost a long time ago, but I would just rather go that route where you just simply have to watch it in order for me to get credit instead of having to actually buy something and me get commission. So I guess it's the lesser of the two evils in my opinion. And now that I sit here and think about it, I likely could have finagled my way in with Quest Nutrition, as they brought a ton of people out there to the show, but Quest and I kind of had a little bit of a falling out. You guys have probably seen videos of mine on them in the past promoting their bars, and I'm sure you've seen them from other YouTubers as well. I actually really liked Quest Nutrition at first. However, a couple of months ago, they came to me with a proposition to help promote one of their new series that was coming out. And this series was talking about food myths and things of that nature. And what they wanted me to do was basically promote the video, have you guys go and watch the video and leave a comment that I would tell you, say, you know, like, stay big. Write that in the comment section to be entered to win some boxes of Quest bars or whatever. And I said, okay, you know, if someone interested, let me know what the videos are, because obviously I want to make sure that the content they're putting out is in line with what I say. And they sent me a list of the videos, and to be honest, they were all really, really bad. I'm talking like bro science-y bad, as far as nutrient timing, as far as eating clean. And I wrote them back and said, you know what, I don't think I can do this. I've just put out a bunch of videos talking about how I think people who classify eating healthy as stupid or clean, because you can't really dissect that without getting into the context of one's diet. I don't want to go too off on a tirade here, but there was literally none of these videos that fit in line with any of the views that I have. So I said, you know what, I just can't do it. Then about a week or two later, they started putting these videos out, and that's when you probably saw one of their videos about a calorie is not a calorie. And they got flamed really bad for that. I had left a comment talking about, you guys know better than this, you know, this is really bad information. And it took them a long time to actually take that video down, which, first of all, kudos for them for actually doing that. But a lot of people kind of stepped up and said, this is wrong information. You guys shouldn't do this. It's basically they took all the people that they had been promoting on YouTube and come out with something completely against the views of which they had. And again, they got a lot of flack for that. So Quest really took a step back in my opinion, and I thought in a lot of other people's opinions. But then
they came out with some protein chips. And they sent these protein chips to everybody, and they sent these people a lot more bars. And all of a sudden, all the boo-boos have been forgiven. Now, I'm not holding a grudge against Quest necessarily, but it's just not someone that I want to associate myself with. So I kind of distance myself from them. And in that, I didn't get in on the whole crunch clean, cheat clean, their hashtags, which are mind-boggling to me. And with that too, I did not get invited to go to Vegas with them. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily sour grapes with me. It's just not something I would have pursued even if they had offered, which they probably wouldn't, just because we kind of cut off conversation from there. And again, I don't want to offend anyone who's going with them, because that's your opinion and that's your job to decide what's right and what's wrong. But the same thing with a lot of these other companies like Isotory that's sending out a ton of YouTubers. I don't believe in BioGrow. I don't believe in a lot of their products. I don't believe in a lot of supplement products out there. So that's just my own personal opinion. And again, I wouldn't want to affiliate with someone just because they pay me to, or because they're paying me. Now, if I believe in their products, it might be a different story. So for those of you that are linked with them and believe in their products, that's great. Again, no offense intended, although I'm sure some might read into it otherwise. All right, so we talked about collaborations, we talked about growing your channel, we talked about affiliates, sellouts, chump change, motherfuckers, all sorts of things. But the last reason I want to talk about is probably the biggest reason why I'd consider going to some events, and that is to meet you guys. So, as I mentioned, I've been making videos on this channel for 2 years. Previous to this, I had another channel, which many of you followed me over from. But I've been talking to you guys for a long time now, and I'm kind of on a first-name basis with some of you. Some of you, I watch your channels if you have one. Others, I recognize your usernames or your avatar pictures, or maybe I follow you on Instagram or some sort. But we've had interactions long enough and deep enough, so she said, get some references in there, that I feel like I know you. And going to these events where a lot of people congregate again would be really cool, because what I found is people that you talk to on a consistent basis online and you finally meet in person, it's actually not that weird, especially because we've shared a lot of stories, whether it be through injuries, through training programs, through gear reviews, through helping each other out, whatever it may be. I feel like I've gotten the chance to know you guys pretty well, and most of you, pretty cool in my book. Most of you. Not all of you. Some of you are weird, especially the ones that want to buy my used gym shorts, but that might be a topic for another video. So when it comes down to it, I would love to go to some of these events, but for the given reasons, going on vacation, paying out of pocket to go to, let's say, Las Vegas or Ohio in the middle of the winter isn't just something that is a top priority for me. If I go somewhere right now, if I can find time to take a vacation or get away for a little bit, more than likely it's going to be with the Beyonce, and it's going to be somewhere nice, like the beach or a foreign country or somewhere exciting. And not to say that going to a convention center full of more aesthetic men is not exciting, because some might say that gets them visibly excited. But for me right now, it's just not high on my priority list. So I hope you guys understand. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching, and stay big.